Hello and welcome to Mirror Talk Podcast. Your moment of greatness starts now. Today's guest is the founder of Sweden's largest presentation skills training company. He's an international speaker, author, and coach. He started to help people around the world in the greatest ways with their skills in communicating with others. Welcome to the show, David. How are you doing?
Thanks, mate. I am doing great. We just had a Nerf war, me and my colleagues. So we were running around shooting each other with arrows, soft arrows. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a nice sport for the body to move around a bit.
It's awesome. We do it 2 or 3 times a day. So it's really good office movement.
Wow, that's good. And it makes one much more happy, I guess, as in boosts the mood.
As long as you don't get shot too many times.
So it's awesome to have you on the Mirror Talk podcast. I would love us to start, with how you got started with, magical science of storytelling and communication. How did it all begin?
It began, weirdly enough, I've never had that question. I've been in so many pods and been interviewed so many times, nobody's ever asked me that specific question. And the specific answer to it is this. I believed I was not a storyteller. So I sat down and I figured out that's probably a limiting belief. If I just learn a bit more, I should be able to become a storyteller. And usually when I do things, I want to shoot for the stars. So I thought to myself, I want to record a TEDx talk and I want to make it one of the best ones ever. Now, let's start studying and practice storytelling. And I spent 2 or 3 years doing that. And then I launched a TED Talk, and now it's become the most viewed one in the world on storytelling, practical, how to build stories.
Yes, and I was quite occupied, watching your TEDx talks. There are like 3 or 4 videos on YouTube that everyone could watch. I'm going to place the links in the show notes for this episode so that everyone could listen to your different TEDx talks because they are very, educative and very informative. But, one thing that inspired me to have you on this podcast is because of our everyday life. Our everyday life involves communication, talking to ourselves, to our family, to our friends, to our loved ones, co-workers and other people that come across our path. And as you started earlier, you said, you were, having some arrow shooting with your friends, with your co-workers also at work. And, this involves communication in our everyday activity. And in one of your TEDx talks, you talked about, the 110 techniques of communication and public speaking. So can you tell us about what makes a great communicator great, internally and externally?
I'd say that, a great one. So the thing is this, from the study of the 5,000 public speakers, yes, I found 110 skills. And I've been weighing these like with points. So if I see you on stage, my friend, I can score you depending on which skills you use. So you'd score maybe 30 points, maybe 40, maybe 50, maybe 60, maybe 110. 110 is the most. Now, most people score 35. Most people suck at communicating. I guess they just hope that language is enough, but it's not. Now, when you find people who are scoring 60, 65, these are usually like salespeople or good leaders because they practiced and learned communication. So these people, they're good. People stop and they listen to them. And the people launching into 75, 80 points, that's the kind of people that can make any room silent. It'll dominate more or less any conversation in just the way they speak. And when you're looking at the one scoring 95 to 100, absolute world class. Now people talk about them. People look forward to seeing them. People want to be around them, like magnetizing human beings. That's one part of it. The second part is the internal stuff, what you say to yourself. And I've got a big 3-day course on that, which is on self-leadership, self-talk, self-coaching. And when you combine that, if you say the correct and the good things to yourself, combine that with the 110 skills, add a bit of storytelling, you'll blow anyone out of the water.
Yeah. I found it really amazing how you categorized all of these 110 skills into, I think, various categories. Like you have the nervousness, then you have the voice, then you have the body language, you have the facial expression, the language, and the I think the ultimate level is, where you have the love presenting and the role playing. I found that really, really, really good.
Have you been learning them from my online courses?
No, up to now, I've just watched the videos and taken note of everything you talked about in your TEDx talk. But my next step is now to go to JP University and enroll to the online courses.
Yeah.
and do them also. Yeah. I will encourage all listeners also to enroll and take the online courses to improve their communication skills.
So, absolutely.
How can we develop and improve our storytelling skills to the level of effectively engaging and passing across our message and emotions to the audience? How do you do that?
Well, I guess storytelling is easy. We all do it. Everybody does it. Every single human being on earth does it. Every single day we tell stories about ourselves in our own head, about our future, about our past, about our current events. You're probably telling stories in your head going like, wonder what will happen when I publish this. Oh, it's cool. Wonder what they'll say when I had an interview with David. You're like creating the stories of the future in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
The trick is this, moving that story out of your head to another person. So you have to make it interesting for them. And at the end of the day, it's all about dopamine, which I talk about in my TED Talk. If you can create anticipation for the during the story and for the end of the story, then you're at home. The mistake most people do is that they jump on the conclusion. They just jump to the best bit. They just jump to like the end. And that's the story for them. That's not storytelling though. You're not taking the opportunity to go like, when I was walking to the store yesterday evening, it was dark, the rain was falling. I heard this really weird sound behind me. I looked behind me and I couldn't see anybody, but I still heard somebody was walking behind me. I couldn't see them. It was far back. And then, then you launch into whatever happens. But people go like, when I was out walking, this man just came up to me and said, "Hey, I know you from somewhere, blah, 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 blah." And they miss the opportunity of entertaining others.
And how do you know if your audience or the person you're narrating the story to is engaged in whatever you're passing across? How do you get the feedback from them without asking for feedback?
You just see it in their eyes. When you're in the middle of a story, you stop with a pause and you see in their eyes, they go, yes, yes, yes. That's a good receipt.
Okay. Then with that, you can always improve the way you tell the story if they don't take it well, and improve on that.
It usually takes me between 10 and I'll say between 7 and 15 times of telling a story until it's crisp. And I know it'll work wherever I do it. It never, ever works the first time as well as I want it to work. You have to refine a story. So tell it to your kids, tell it to your friend, tell it to your partner, tell it to your colleagues, tell it to another friend, tell it to another friend, and then tell it in business. And then at the last day, like the 7th and 8th time, when you've built in a bit more anticipation, a bit more ambience, a bit more detail, change details around a bit, boom, you've got it.
Wow. So practice makes perfect. Just keep on repeating the story, refining.
Yeah, refining it. And the key is adding dopamine. Anticipation.
Yes. Oh, great. Yeah. So, I'm a big fan of your TikTok videos. Actually, I got to know you from TikTok. And then to Instagram. So your TikTok and your Instagram videos are filled with so much positivities and mental health acts. So, and I'm really, really grateful for them. I'm really grateful for the fact that I got to come across them. How can we reprogram our brains for more positivity and positive mindset? And when is the best time to do that?
I'd say that the easiest path to your question is meditation, by far. Meditate 10 minutes a day, it'll change your life, period. Nothing in your entire life will change it more than 10 minutes of meditation every day. Nothing. You can get like 500 million and it would not change your mental state into a happier mode than if you spend 10 minutes every day of the rest of your life meditating. Can't be compared. So I'd say meditation. Second is this one. I've got a TikTok on that, and you might have seen it as well. And that is that a lot of people, they go like, I'm fed up. Now I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change my life today.
Yes.
99 out of 100 times they fail. Why? Because life cannot be changed in a day. Life can be changed in small increments, just as the changes happen to where you're today. So I'd say this: the day you're fed up, say this to yourself: I'm fed up. From today, I'm going to add small bits of positivity and good stuff into my life, and I'll do that every day, a little bit every day.
Yeah.
And in a year, you'll have changed your life, just as you wished from day one.
Is that like a compound effect?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So one day you learn how to smile. One day you give away compliments, and one day you're self-appreciative and you tap yourself on the shoulder.
Yeah.
You do this over and over again. You practice these small little details, and at the end of that year, you won't even recognize yourself. But it happens so slowly that, yeah, it's good stuff.
It's good stuff, yes. And talking of smiling, is a YouTube video of yours on your YouTube channel. The link also will be placed in the show notes of this episode, where you are talking about, laughing. You dealt with the science of laughing, and you talked about your friend, who loves to laugh. And I found that really educating. I was like, oh, I'm going to work on this too, maybe laugh a little bit more, be expressive, or work on that step by step with compound effect. Then after a year, won't be far away from when one was today, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's a really good video. I think it was the 110 seconds news clip you saw from me.
Yes, exactly.
I take studies and I make them into 110 seconds, like kind of TV reporting stuff. I'm going to start to just try them to make them shorter now. So I'll be producing them on TikTok and they'll be 60 seconds long. See how that works.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. That'll be good. Yeah. Oh, great. So, from your vast experience as a great communicator, public speaker, author, and coach, how can we improve the relationship that we have with ourselves, and how can we remain in love with ourselves?
I'd say that the most simple thing is, simple, but we don't actually have to practice self-love. The only thing we have to do is stop being self-critical, and self-love will happen automatically. It's insane. It's like I apparently Dalai Lama was interviewed about this, and the interviewer asked him something like, "So, but self-love then, isn't that important to practice?" And Dalai Lama went, "I don't know what you mean. What you mean practice?" And then he said, "Well, like practice to be more self-loving." Then Dalai Lama said, "Well, you're self-loving from birth. Why shouldn't you be? Why? I can't really see why wouldn't you love yourself?" And that's our Western culture is more prone to be self-critical. So reducing self-criticism allows you to automatically be self-loving. Did you know that if you got, I think it's schizophrenia. It's one of those similar conditions where you hear voices in your head.
Oh, yeah.
In the Western culture, those voices are negative. But in some other cultures, like some of the Asian cultures, some of the African cultures, when they've done the same tests, the voices are positive.
Why is it so?
Because I guess, Western culture is all about you're not good enough, you're not earning enough money, you're not happy enough, you're not kind enough, you're not loving enough. So we're self-critical. And so when we get schizophrenia, the voices in our head are negative. And the cultures where we go like, hey, you're good as you are, the voices are positive. But in Western cultures, schizophrenia is seen as something super, 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 super bad. Obviously, because if you got a voice in your head saying, like, you're really, really bad person, you'll feel bad. It's just interesting that it's different culturally.
So I should be less critical of myself to be able to love myself more.
Yeah, just every time you want to be self-critical, do this instead. I did as good as I could under the circumstances that I had. Or I did as good as I could under the circumstances I gave myself. Or, wow, that was interesting. What I will learn from this is this. Those 3 sentences can change a human being's life. Because very often a person would go like this: oh, why did I mess up? Oh, why am I so stupid? Why didn't it get perfect? Why am I not as good as this person?
Yeah.
Those 3 sentences, who's listening to this, apply them.
Yes. Wow. That's really good. I mean, sometimes we always think, oh, what we did is not good enough, or is not, yeah, we could have done better than that, and that way we beat ourselves down and end up hating ourselves for that. Yeah. Well, how did you, for example, work on yourself to become who you are right now today? You're a man of, you do a lot of things. You are, public speaking, and you have this JP University. How do you, sustain your mental health, your mental fitness, and without being burnt out or depressed or or exhausted?
I think it's just fascinating to become a better person every day. It's just a fascination. How can I be a better version of myself today than I was yesterday, or last week, or last month? How can I carry on just becoming better? I've got this quote which goes, imagine never meeting the best version of yourself. If you never got the opportunity before you died to look yourself in the eyes and meet the best version you could have been, I think that's motivational to me. I want to be the best version I can be. I want to be that person.
Yeah, yeah. So talking about quote from you, I was going through your website, davidjpphillips.com, and one of these quotes stood out to me. You wrote, "There is no quick fix to being happy. Being happy is a lifestyle."
Yeah.
So how can we make happiness a lifestyle?
Well, do this. Take a piece of paper, write down like positive habits, like smiling, like being generous, like being kind, like being self-appreciative, like eating less sugar, like going to the gym, taking a walk, learning how to do the Duchenne smile, sharing something with somebody. Do a list of these. There's got to be like 100. Put that by your bedside table, and every time you wake up, you look at one of them and you practice that one that day. By doing so, it becomes a lifestyle. Choosing to look at life from, how can it become a better place? How can the world be a better place? And how can I contribute to that today? That would become a lifestyle.
Focusing on the positive part of one's life.
Yeah.
So for someone out there who wants to, become a public speaker, an outstanding communicator or storyteller like you are, can you tell us more about, JP University and how we could enroll for these courses?
Sure, yeah. It's actually changing its name next week. It's a big thing. It's going to be called headgain.com.
Headgain.com. Okay.
Headgain.com. So anyone can go to headgain.com and they can access all of my courses, everything I teach. And my promise is that it'll be the best investment of your life. If you go through those courses, probably nothing in your entire life will have a bigger effect on you than going through those courses. It'll take you a year, but it'll blow you away in your life.
Wow. So I'm going to place the link to this new website in the show note also, so that anyone could just click on it or copy it and get in contact with you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. I love talking to people, so that's perfectly fine.
That's great. So, what advice will you give someone out there who is on a path to becoming a better person, or wishes to become a public speaker? What will you tell the person to do internally to become a good public speaker or communicator externally?
Well, number one, there's a lot of public speakers out there, and therefore you have to become better than they are. Or you have to do something differently. Like 2 of those options. If you do them at the same time, your chances are way bigger. So let's go for something different. Find your passion, find your subject, read every freaking book on it from like 2,000 years ago to now. Like get new angles, get new perspectives, just immerse yourself in this subject. Yeah. And then when you've got that, you will come up with ideas that others haven't, and you'll start to see things from other directions. This will create a unique perspective and unique content. And boom, your chances are now way higher than the people who keep just copying quotes on Instagram or, going to courses which others have done only. Yeah. You have to do your own research. And then number 2, and there's no shortcut to this, but you have to become skilled in the 110 steps. It's as easy as that. Like you're nodding now. I don't know where you learned that, but that's skill number 64. So it's important to know that nodding whilst the person is speaking increases the chances of the other person talking to you. So if you're on a date and you're not nodding, your date won't go very well because it seems like you don't care. By just learning that I should nod when the person speaks, will make your date much more successful. And that's just one of all the skills.
Yes. That's awesome. That's a nice takeaway from this podcast. And I'm really grateful for your time. I really appreciate everything I've been able to learn from you today. And I encourage everyone to get in contact with David Phillips and enroll to the online courses and become better speakers for themselves, and also to other people. Thank you so much, David.
Thanks, man. Good to be here.
Dear friend, you can grow your personal and business brand by creating a strong network through podcasting. Create real human connections, have the ability to share your story and interesting point of view. To get started, you can make use of the special offer for friends of this podcast, which is on kitcaster.com/mirror. KITCASTER.com/MIRROR. The link and further instruction or details will be found in the show notes for this episode. Thank you. Wow, you made it to the very end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'm grateful for your time, your love, and your contributions. Subscribe, like, review, and share this podcast. God bless you. Bye.